Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.co's Daily Brief. Dun, dun, dun. Hello, everyone. And we're live on YouTube. Just waiting for that to kick in. And you see Alex S. is sitting at the grown-ups table over there. So I think we'll call the YouTube channel the grown-ups table from now on. Everybody in the lounge is the kids table. Anyway, welcome back to the show. We got probably a better part of an hour here to work with. We'll take a look at some ideas, give you an idea of sort of what I'm seeing in the market right now. I think we probably should start off, and everybody, I think on the site fully is aware of this. We are now going through this sort of cleanup after the CME news event orgy. And I honestly think, guys, what we really have to do is we have to, if you are a crypto enthusiast, don't change that. None of that should change. Just, enjoy the experience and why you're interested in this space. But we have to understand valuations are very steep. And quite often we have to take a good month or two or so and just sort of clean out the fluff of the market. It's this very normal what's going on. It's funny, on Twitter and stuff, people are like, "Oh, and then the bubble has popped. The bubble has popped." And I, my response to these people is, I've been in this space like 3 or 4 years now. I've literally watched every single year. They say it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. Then prices deflate. The public loses interest, we put in W's, and then we start the whole damn thing all over again. I mean, really, I don't see anything changing here. I also think, too, we're coming to the end of a very long economic cycle, and usually they say that things are, they're always most volatile at the tops and bottoms of moves. And you can see that in stock prices. They're starting to get really nutso up here. I think if anything, just my own personal message, and I've been talking to you guys about this for a while, I'm really thinking that the crypto market's probably going to be pretty soft here for the first half of this year. It's going to take some time to clean all this mess up. I do really like the idea of us just going in and hunting good stories. People were asking in the lounge about some of the fundamental screeners that we run on the site. In altcoin space, I think that's an excellent idea now. Get back to basics. What is value in this space? And it takes time, like a lot of, we just look at names. I mean, right now, I don't see any W's. Ethereum's an interesting story because, it does issue coins. But if we just go randomly look at these things, what I see is it's just a lot of chop. I suppose on Ethereum and on this one right here, we just go through them. Really what I'm seeing is just sort of lots of ranges, bouncing around in ranges. Like this one, for example, the bottom, right? And what we really want to see for the next sort of big face rip is we want to see very well-defined W's come in. You see how long this took, right? This is January. This bought low wasn't put in until early March. And really, you could argue that this coin didn't really break out and go back into bull mode until basically the end of March. I don't know if anybody can read that date. Is there some sort of date that Brian's sort of looking for sort of the big catalyst that we can start moving forward again? Yeah. 420 works as a great sort of, people aren't really thinking about Bitcoin. They're not really thinking about, euphoric blow off tops and celebrities endorsing names. They're just all talking about pot. I've suggested, and I think it's not a bad idea for you, that let's just keep a close eye on these pot coins. This pot coin here, he could easily come right back down into this area. So let's, just wait for these pot coins to actually mark the bottom. And I've noticed cycle after cycle, these things love to bottom first. Then, maybe it's just the internet pump guys, the crypto pump guys. They make a shitload of money on these pumps. And then they go and just simply, diversify, move on to the next coin. Right? Now, right, where you could tell we're at the bottom of the food chain right now because they're pumping names like Cryptopia names. So they're not interested in these names whatsoever because the story's already been pumped, right? The pump guys have no interest in this. They got to wait for the public to lose all interest or the prices to come back down, do this kind of basing. And, you know, we said 420, right? I can sort of see this just market symmetry. I mean, you never know exactly how this stuff's going to play out, but, you know, if we just go say something there to there and then just flip that around, you can see that good old trading view, you never know with these crazy scales. Actually, that's kind of interesting. Eh? You see how basically that counter trend rally corresponded with that symmetry move there. So, you know, could we see another month or so of just sort of, you know, backfilling here? Yeah. And it sucks because I know all of you guys are coming to the site and you're like, hey, I want to make money from trading. I want to do something. But ironically enough, there are these windows in the market where really the best thing we're best served to do is just sit on our hands. And I know it sucks because all you're like, man, but I'm paying a subscription to fucking make money from trading, man. And if anything, I've sort of said this to you guys before that I really don't think it's in your best interest to put yourself on I got to do 3 trades a week or, you know, 5 trades every 6 hours or whatever to keep that pace. That's not how the market works. And if anything, what we have to do is we got to remove that thinking. You have to trade when the market tells you to trade, and when the market tells you not to trade, i.e. your setups just aren't there, you fucking do nothing. I really don't mind the idea, and really I think, you know, I certainly didn't want to start here, but as we're working our way back down against these original lows, I think it's a perfectly fine idea to start your nanny nibble strategies going. You're not going to be betting the farm here. You're not going to be pounding the table. That's when we get these W's and prices are breaking out and we're like rock and roll. Okay, we want to be loaded up. Woo, here we go. Right now, we're coming back down into levels. If you want to just start initiating a very slow nanny nibbles campaign, maybe like 0.5% purchases or something like that, I think that's perfectly fine. But as I said, you know, I don't think we're in a big hurry here right now, guys, and it kind of sucks, right? Because it's painful. I mean, to go through this process of cleaning the market up. What's this? Deutschland T says, I do something, I am complaining. Okay. You know, everybody should understand, especially watching on YouTube, I'm not holding a gun to anybody's head to stay here. If you feel as though you're not getting value, you know, by all means, get in touch with us. If you're not happy, you know, hell, I'll be even, you know, I don't think it's a good idea for silver membership. But you know, especially school students and stuff like that, if you're just not happy and this isn't for you, just get in touch with me and I'm not here to take people's money. I couldn't, you know, really, that's not my motivation. You all know that. So if you are unhappy, just get in touch with me and let's talk and let's figure out a mutually beneficial arrangement going forward. I think if anything, you know, just sort of finish off this sort of, you know, hyperbole comment. Okay, people are saying, I think he was just joking. All right. Well, you know, Brian is a pretty sensitive guy. So it's so important for me to feel as though you guys are getting value. So when somebody even hints that, hey, I'm not happy, it's just like, oh, Jesus, now I got to do some jumping jacks or something for you to amuse you. Does that, if Deutschland, I could put my camera on, I could dance around a little bit if you'd like, if that'll put a smile on your face. All right, let's keep moving on here. So, you know, altcoins, and if you're here to make money, banging out doubles, all this kind of stuff, and you're looking for these kind of moves, you're just going to have to cool your jets. It's just as simple as that, guys. There is tons of money to be made in this space. But like my old buddy Jack used to say, you make hay when the sun's shining. While it's raining, there's not a fucking hell of a lot to do. And you just got to cool your jets. Just simple as that. I do like the idea. I was seeing in the lounge, guys were saying we're just going to go through the list A to Z, and we're just going to start marking things like Kavarkanators. I mean, hopefully everybody can see here if we just draw simple fibs. And, you know, here's really good example of where sometimes, you know, you have these nutso insane blow off wicks. We could even, if you wanted to, because you know, I like, especially for the level oneers, I'm really encouraging them just to simply look at clotheslines. We can actually just draw a fib off of these clothesline levels. It's the same logic. And what's interesting is you see, you know, off of clotheslines, there's 78.6. Off of the candle wicks, there's 88.6. So you can see where the sort of buying window is, regardless of whether you're doing clotheslines or you're doing full candles. Let's see, man, I really, wow, what a mess. All right, so if we do the full candles, you can see that the reload zone is here, and if we do the clotheslines, reload zone's down in here. I think I'd probably, you know, let's err on the side of conservative. And really what's interesting off of this clothesline fib study, look how Mr. Kavarkanator is just sitting there licking his chops. So there's 78.6. There's the previous market structure. You can see there's a really wicked battle right in here. You know, the guys that actually did this pump, they're probably long from these levels. So if price does work its way back down into here, this is a perfect example where you could get a nice little bid working here, nanny nibbles, just to slowly start building a position. And of course, as long as we keep seeing Emmy action, there's no hurry here, none whatsoever. Well, I mean, if anything, this is a really good testament, you know, M's and W's. Hopefully everybody can see, you know, W, oh, start getting bullish. You got an M here, start getting bearish. W, start getting bullish. More W's, start getting bullish, right? M's, right? You want a really cool demonstration. And it's funny because we got one old site member, Greg Peacock. He's here in Vancouver, and I love chatting with Greg. And he is just fucking pissed off to no end how TradingView's gone and changed all these things here. A lot of people really don't like how TradingView just unitarily decides to do all this shit. So it takes us a while to figure out how to use these damn things now that TradingView's gone and changed everything. But long and short of it here, this is a really good analogy. New people to trading. We have an old expression in the market, and you know, I was interesting. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. One of my old sort of YouTube videos, I use this reference called OTE, which another gentleman on the internet used. He called it his optimal trade entry, which, okay, that's all right. I actually don't really think I really like OTE as a description for this 61.8 to 78.6 zone. I really like having mental images and having picture stories that play out in your head. I learned a long time ago that you actually remember things a lot easier if you can put a funny name, a lot of action, a lot of sort of frivolity with ideas. Your brain sort of remembers it a lot easier. So I really like the description of this zone rather than OTE as reload. And if we think about the capitalist process, the bulls buying the breakout, prices running up, people making tons of money. Of course, guess who's coming in and buying up top here, right? The good old public. And then, you know, the institutions, the players, right? The whales, whatever you want to call them. They've sold here to the public, but they want to be long. So what are they going to do? They're going to wait for price to come back down, and they're going to reload their positions. So that's why I really like the expression, the term here, reload zone, because I think it describes exactly what, you know, the capitalist process. Another sort of funny little tool that I like to talk about, and really, again, try, you know, if you can think in picture stories, I think it makes it a lot easier for you to avoid traps as well. So one really simple tool that I would like all of you guys to try and remember is, you know, we're going to draw the lines off of the key highs and lows, and just simply, there's a line. Let's maybe make it yellow. And we've got these lows. And then we have this high here. And so is anything sort of jumping out at you? Do you see anything here? And, you know, it's a bit ironic, but maybe if I put like a little eye here, starting to look a little better. Maybe I'll put like a big smile here. Can you start to see it? This is a really easy way. Well, there's a W inside, but what we really want to focus in on is we failed through this level here. So that is validated this big M. So one easy way for you to see M's is just simply ask yourself, do I see the market smiling at me? If I see the market smiling at me, it usually means it's getting ready to take my money. So nice little picture story there for you. Hopefully it helps you visualize market behavior. One of the first lessons that I learned as a technician, if you ever see the market smiling at you, get ready. Sort of like this is the whales. These are the institutions. Yeah, that's Thomas. Thomas actually did kind of a fun video for you guys yesterday. Did you guys enjoy that video? Did anybody get, I thought it was kind of interesting. I popped in. I had to head off and do some tutorials yesterday afternoon. But I was really pleased to see that Thomas took the initiative. And he also had Steven on, and I haven't heard from Steven in a while. I don't know whether Steven's here or not. But I haven't watched his portion of that video, but I really would like to hear what Steven had to say. I don't know if anybody has the link for it. I'm not quite sure. We should probably post it somewhere. Yeah, and so if anybody's got the link, maybe throw it in the lounge again so people can watch it. And maybe I'll even try and blog it out for the site. If I'm not mistaken, I think Thomas is traveling today. There you go. Thank you, Tom. What a man. I swear, Tom's such a fucking hero. And the good part about Tom is this guy is so smart when it comes to computers. He knows. Hey, I wouldn't even be surprised if we find out that Mr. Tom there is actually part of Satoshi Nakamoto. Maybe it was a previous life. I don't know. Tom is super, super, super smart dude, computer. So, all right. So, you know, we just look at this picture. You can clearly see when we should have been bullish. You can clearly see that there is no hurry to be bullish now. And if anything, we have to just cool our jets. You know, if anything, if you want to, and I've had a few people in like level oneers and stuff say, Brian, I can't see the W's. If you want to just dial it back and make this as easy and as conservative and as simple on you as possible, just simply change this to a clothesline. Makes it really, really simple. So what do you think? Does everybody see how the Kavarkinator here is setting itself up? I mean, hell, all of you guys, you should be just going, all right, I'm going to go place my bid at, I don't know, 695 sats, and let's see if I can get a fill. It's just that simple, really. Nanny nibbles. We're not pounding the table. Rob, you jerk. You guys screwed me on that other coin the other day, man. You parked all your orders in front of me, and I didn't get any. And it's so funny because I remember when I was trying to buy stuff earlier, we were running it, and the guys are like, don't tell them before you buy it. Go and buy it and then tell the people that you like the this level. But anyway, that's the market for you. What can you do? Okay, so a little bit of, you know, sort of side talk. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm seeing in the market. You know, it wouldn't be a show without a good conversation about Bitcoin. You know, what do we say? If we look at our weekly chart, the levels have been pretty obvious for quite some time. There's really nothing out of the ordinary here. If anything, the only thing that kind of disappointed me was I wanted to get a little bit more of a rally up into this reload short zone here to try and get some more off, and it just didn't materialize, which I was a little disappointed. But ironically enough, in a weird sort of way, you know, I know we've been talking about, you know, rip the Band-Aid off quickly versus long, slow, grinding bear. Ironically enough, guys, I actually think this is the rip the Band-Aid off quickly scenario. It is. I think it is. I really do. if this was a long, like in the stock market, sometimes these tops to develop, and it was actually interesting because somebody had asked about the fixed income market, and you can see if we go over to the fixed income market, right, their tops, they take like forever to develop. I think I have it up here. Where is it? So, yesterday's video, well, not yesterday's video, I guess it was Monday's class. We were talking about strategic planning and how you can literally see the long-term top and treasuries coming in here. Look how long this top takes to develop and finally break down. Can everybody see? And I'd just be curious, can, new people to the site, Brian, I want some fucking value for these goddamn membership I paid, you son of a bitch. Can you see the market smiling at us here? Oh boy. That's not a good sign. And it's funny because the people in the I don't know if it's a level 1 class or in the lounge were going, man, Brian sure is obsessed about these 10-year treasuries. Getting all excited about this. But seriously, this is a long-term cyclical turn. Look how long this took to develop. 2012, all the way we finally got the sell signal in 2018. That is a long, slow, boring, grinding top. Ugh, see you later. This thing is toast. Put a fork in it. Interest rates are going up. So, ironically enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And here's the funny thing, right? Of course, in crypto, right? 7 weeks, this is like 5 lifetimes. This is 7 weeks in crypto is an eternity. Oh, yeah, I know. They've completely lost interest. So, ironically enough, actually, I think this is pretty good. Now, here's the problem, guys. All right, and I showed you this. I've shown you guys this chart repeatedly. I don't think this is really anything to do with the end of Bitcoin story or the end of what the hell do I want to show you here? The end of crypto. It's remarkable. Something I saw today, which really pissed me off, is, these people that are supposed to be like in the know, right? Like these guys write these articles, close about here's your cryptocurrency crash course, and I don't know who this guy is, Stacy Rapicon, whatever the hell his name is. But they go through this, and this is wrong. I mean, this is just fucking wrong. The problem is value is nowhere near where we are right now. So how do you justify prices where they are? Well, the value is just based purely on what people are willing to pay for it. That's fucking bullshit. That's a lie. That is not true. So these idiots, they're still not getting the message. They just don't understand how to figure out value. And if anything, guys, and it was cool because somebody in the lounge this morning was like, hey, I found Dav's fundamental screener in the library, and I'm just wondering whether this is of any value or is it any use. I think, where the hell do we have it? Do we have it here? Dav's day trader checklist. I thought maybe it's in the school resources. I thought I had it on here. FA screener. Maybe this is it. Yeah, here we go. This is a really, really simple fundamental screener that everybody can follow. But the problem here is that you're going to go through a lot of these fundamental screeners and you're going to go, holy shit, price is nowhere near where the bottom is supposed to be. So half of our problem is not so much, I mean, first and foremost, these guys, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And that scares me because it means that the public is still, very vulnerable. And, what we have to do as rational investors is you got to do some due diligence. You have to go in and actually see whether the coin has a half decent story or not. How many coins are out? Is it POW? Is it POS? How are they validating the network? Right? If it's POW, it makes it a lot easier because you can just figure out what is the cost to mine these things as a nice sort of value metric. POS coins, a little bit harder to figure out what intrinsic value of these things are. I'm not gonna deny that. But I just find it really interesting that the media and the public, they still don't understand what value is in this space. So that, if anything, gives us a leg up. What this actually tells me is that, you know, you guys are smart. You guys are on the cutting edge of crypto. I couldn't create a better community. Well, maybe not you, Thomas. I didn't realize you were here, so maybe we'll just exclude you. So, but you guys know, well, when he when he says, "Are you sure?" Hey, you post a smart ass comment, you're gonna get a smart ass comment right back, right? I'm trying to compliment you guys, and Thomas throws it back in my face. So anyway, the point here is, hey, Dav's over there. Dav, are you on YouTube? You couldn't get into the lounge, but you're here today. I think this is your screener, isn't it? And it was so cool when Dav went through the program, because Dav knows the internals of this shit, right? He knows how the you know, what is value. Is that your screener, Dav? Are you there? Yep. Is that you saying yep? I think it is. Anyway, so, you know, the point here is, let's just simply go back and figure out what the fuck value is here. Yeah, he is the altcoin market. Hey, yeah, Thomas, you're over there. What are you doing over there? Oh, well, it's crazy. Are you overseas, Thomas? You're like, you're in the jungles of Antarctica right now, right? Maybe one day soon we'll have another sort of special report. Actually, maybe this is, did Thomas PM me? No. All right. So anyway, he's off. So, you know, Bitcoin, you can see where the weekly reload zones is. And what I'm concerned about here, guys, is I think that Goldman Sachs really just played the market here. They knew full well the CME event was going to be a liquidity event. I remember distinctly, I don't know whether we haven't seen Roham on the site. Oh, sorry. Thomas is in the jungles of Mars right now. Sorry. But we had a gentleman on the site. He was in the level 1 program last fall. Roham. He actually had a family member of his that worked at Goldman, and so we had privy. We were sort of, you know, we had sort of the ear of the market, and they were all like rah Bitcoin, $3,000. So I have a funny feeling that what they really want to do is they sort of put the floor in the market. They ramped it up into that CME event, and my hunch is they're not going to be happy until they've sort of hit the reset button. And the irony of it all is they're probably going to buy the whole fucking position right back once we get down here. And then, you know, another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, and really the more and more I see this, the more I think this is exactly what's going to happen here, is our cycle guys. I can feel a short-term pivot coming. The fear in the market is extremely palatable. I can just feel it coming. And if we look back to our cycle chart, this one, I think what we have to go through right now is this. There's got to be some sort of kickback here. And hopefully this gives us nice little RLZs to hop off any more Bitcoins if we want to. But this is the kind of environment that I want to be a seller in. I don't really want to panic dump into lows. I just don't think that's in your best interest. And, you know, you look back 2 or 3 weeks from now and you'll just be kicking yourself that, oh, fuck, why did I, you know, panic? So I, you know, and, you know, it's just Brian's opinion. Of course, you know how much Brian thinks of Brian's opinion, but this is the event that I'm going to be looking for over the next few weeks to, if I do want to liquidate any Bitcoin, I'm probably going to use this kind of counter trend rally, to do so. But, you know, if we think back to that weekly Bitcoin chart, you know, do you see the similarities here? And what I think they're going to do here is they're just going to hit the reset button. And then the kick in the pants, right, is that I actually think that this damn market is just going to go ratcheting right back up. And I've sort of said this message repeatedly. I'm trying to find where the hell it is. That I really don't think, obviously, if you are heavily long Bitcoin and you'd like to take profits, not a bad idea to be lightening up here. We've sold a bunch up on the way up and mulling over, selling some more. If you can, and especially all the new people to crypto, I think this is going to be like a buying opportunity of a lifetime right here. And I think that the institutions, the higher ups, they're going to try as hard as they possibly can over the next 4 or 5 months. Remember Brian talking about cleaning up the market, blah, 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 blah. They're going to try as hard as they possibly can to engineer the public to get out of crypto and abandon the story. And the FUD is just going to be palatable. Sucks, but that's just brutal reality. And my hunch is, and we talked about this in yesterday's video as well. If we look at the Dow chart and how that 87 scenario looks like it's going to play out, it also bottoms right around the middle of June, July here as well. So that's actually, I'm not looking for a hell of a lot out of crypto into sort of late spring. I think the summer, we're going to have a lot of fun. And I actually think probably the fall and into the end of the year, it's going to be a lot of fun. But for the next few months, this is going to be a bit of a slog, guys. That's honestly how I feel. And it sucks, but that's just the way it goes. All right, so there you go. Merry Christmas. Wonderful. So if we were going to pivot here, because I do feel like we're getting a little bit washed out, we might have a nice little fuck you down against this low here. It's pretty vulnerable. Look left, right? You can see where the ultimate last sort of key pivot is. That's down about 6,000-7,000. My hunch is it's going to be one of these crazy-ass tail kind of things. It's going to be extremely violent. If we're really lucky, that's a big, big if right now. We put in just an extremely quiet non-event day here. And it's interesting, too, because we talk about how the London kill zone through Wednesdays, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, London kill zone. It looks like today being Wednesday. Basically they brought it right down onto its knees into the close of yesterday. Beep. Today's this bar opens up at about 4 or 5 o'clock my time. You can see through the London session they swam it around against this low here, and now it's just sitting there completely parked. And if we look at things like OKCoin, right, there is that dump. What was really interesting, I found, was it sure looks to me like somebody is trying to defend this level down in here really badly, right? You can see stab down, jackknife away, stab down. You can see they even opened up the candle here, beep, took it right down. If anybody was going to panic dump, they dump, but notice not a hell of a lot of volume came in there. Market quickly jackknifed away, back down. Gee whiz, there's London kill zone right on cue, right off of that level. Jackknife it up. Here we are like 4 or 5 o'clock coming into, gee whiz, here we are, the New York kill zone. And you guys see how basically all they did was they backed it up for the London boys, and then they backed it up for the New York boys. You see how both of the camps got in off of that level? Isn't that cool? It's freaky, eh? And I suppose you could argue, right? Is this the Asian kill zone over here? Where's Asian? Oh, yeah, there it is, right? So that is the Asian kill zone. So it almost looks to me like back it up into a buying window, take it away. Back it up into a buying window, take it away. Back it up into a buying window. Now, here's, the difference between, how do I say this? Our job as traders really is not to be overly concerned with this. If anything, what we really want to do is we want to let the big boys fight it out and put in this bottom. And frankly speaking, I don't know whether this thing's going to hold or not. Somebody could come along and say, well, we're banning Bitcoin. Down she goes, right? I think that the war war off of this level is underway as we speak. But we don't have to fight that war. I mean, I know guys like Thomas, they're going to be in here sniping this thing off of these lows. Totally know that. But, you know, for us slower people, my feeling is let's let the big boys have this fight. And of course, if we can get an acceptance back above this trend line, which will confirm this inverted head and shoulders, then at least we'll have the anecdotal evidence that, fuck, at least the bull's still alive. Sometimes it's really not in our best interest as small players to get involved in this fight just yet. And I actually had put in the lounge and stuff last night, you know, when we were breaking down, especially if we do things like hourly charts, like 4 hour, for example. You know, we have all this ME. We know that there's a bottom when the WE comes in, and we have a nice divergence here. Hopefully everybody can see that. Maybe, you know, and there is that head and shoulders that we sort of zoomed in off of OKCoin. Fascinating how that head and shoulders off of the cash market it's all developing. Number one, and actually this would be a little quiz. Let's see if the YouTubers can get this. What do we call this bar and this bar? Those two bars right there. Boom, boom. What do we call that? Thank you, Thomas. Very good. Way to go, Rob. Any YouTubers? Let's see if the YouTubers know. In essence, this is where somebody stepped into the market and said, no more down, you go up. Somebody had to be a buyer through here to stop this route. And so we like to call this the institutional fingerprint. So BioBurn29 and Mike J. Let's maybe, I don't know whether you guys are in the education program. We cover this later on in the program when we get to the candy store. But these two bars are really important. In essence, that's where the institution stepped in and stopped the bear. So what an interesting situation here that, you know, price goes up, then comes back down into this area and goes, no. These guys go, no. What are you doing? Get your ass out of there. More sellers come in. We come down into this area again. And these guys go, no. What are you doing? So it really shouldn't surprise us that there's a big fight going on at this level as well. So really interesting times we live in. And as I said, you know, short-term sentiment-wise, something actually sentiment-wise that concerns me. I would really like to see it clean up. And actually, this is where Thomas does really well. But really worried about this right now. This is getting concerning. So, you know, this is the price of Bitcoin forward contracts relative to the OKCoin cash index. Is it relevant to use the OKCoin cash index versus like Stamp? I think Thomas likes to use Stamp. I'm going to just stick with OKCoin, just keep it on their platform. And you can see we're coming into very dangerous territory here. On balance, very simply put, if the spread between futures prices and forward prices in this case, and spot market is trading at a premium, i.e. futures prices are higher, then it means that industry is relatively optimistic, relatively comfortable. In essence, this is what we call contango. It implies that there's storage costs and interest and insurance prices built into the term structure, a healthy market. Unfortunately, though, for Bitcoin, these spreads just go to absolutely ridiculous levels, which is not healthy. You know, it's interesting. For a long time, we used to follow the spread between parity, which is basically zero line. Is it a premium or is it a discount? And $100 premium, right? Which seemed like a pretty healthy market. Then we went into this insanity, and look how far away $100 premium is. I mean, it just got ridiculous. $2,000 premium for a forward contract just didn't make any sense. And of course, like we said before, if you ever see the market smiling at you, what should you start thinking? Well, that's terrible drawing. That would be like my grade 3 English teacher just failed me. That's an M, Brian? What the fuck? Do you get back to kindergarten and play with your blocks? Let's try that again. So up, up, and down. Look at that cute little smiley face there, right? Now, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily say that you take every single smiley face you see. You see how this was a trap. But just add it anecdotally to your tool belt. And also, well, hopefully what you see is there's a pretty well-defined head and shoulders here, right? So, massive premium. Of course, this is right into the CME event. I mean, it almost gets a little cliche after a while. But here we did. We came back down, and through mid-month, they tried to stabilize things. And Thomas and I have been talking about this in videos lately. And so we were feeling encouraged, right? Okay, they brought it back down, slight discount. A reading below zero on these spreads is what's called backwardization, which in essence implies everything opposite to contango. Forward prices are trading at a discount to cash market. So there is no insurance, there is no storage, there is no interest rate consideration in the term structure, and quite literally, the forwards people are panicking, and they're selling at whatever price they can lock in. So clearly, whatever the market is feeling relative to this zero line is important for us as traders, not necessarily to take the trade, but just to simply listen to the message of the market. Right? Half of what we do is just simply listen. What is the market trying to tell you? Is it giving you any hints? Right? These are the kind of things that separate the amateurs from the professionals. So as we stand right now, we're flirting with disaster here. Now, it should make sense. Bitcoin price teetering on 10 Gs. We're at a very key trend line here. Structurally, if we lose these lows, the futures guys, we've been squawking about that damn bear ABCD, bearish bot setup for a while now. So it's in my opinion, it's and actually this is interesting. Oh, it's a good development. I'm glad we looked at this. So can everybody see that the bot guys just had their move stop to scratch level hit? Can you see that? So, if the CME boys now, they've got their shorts on from the bot, right? And you can see good old bot there. All through this, we were humming on. Are they going to break this top? Are they going to break this top? Are they going to break this top? And boom, down we come. Now they've had their move stop to scratch level hit. So the futures guys now, they're laughing. Either way, they're not going to get hurt here. Did we lose the screen capture? That was interesting. Wonder what happened there. Can you hear me? Am I alive? Come in, Tokyo. Hello? Hello? Tokyo, are you there? I see the buttons on Google Hangout. Can you hear me? You can hear me, but now my screen share seems to have gone. It looks like Google's fucking around with this. How typical. All right, I'm going to drop back. Nobody take my spot. I'm going to pop back in. I'll be right back. Let's see if we can fix this thing. Hello, I'm back. Can you hear me now? 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 I'm surprised nobody stole my seat. All right, so let's just so if there's anybody watching on the YouTube page, can you just confirm that you can see the chart here? See, that guy said that he totally vision. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He totally had it nailed. Somebody was out. That's my biggest worry is somebody's gonna steal my seed. Okay, so back to our story. Bot move stop to scratch has been hit. They're laughing right now. Either way, if the market rallies back up into here, they're just going to walk away at scratch, and you can see the battle that's going on here. It's interesting how it's. You could even argue that Mountain Man's still putting up a hell of a fight here. And if we lose our lunch here, I think it's pretty obvious, and the spreads, they're going to show it. We could easily lose, a good couple grand here, which sucks, good old market, but it's very possible. So botters are sitting short from 10 grand, looking for 7 grand, right? They're laughing, sitting pretty right now. And if this market can actually confirm this head and shoulders bottom here and start rallying up, they're just going to walk away at scratch. So, as you can see off of this CME contract, these lows right here are critical. And I got a funny feeling, right? Like we said, there's a hell of a fight going on at this level. This is a pretty important level for Bitcoin right here. Ideally, what I'd love to see, it would just be music to my ears, is just a nice quiet little doji here, then a nice little up against the bottom of this trend line, which would create, if we put in a candle, I'll quiz you guys again. If we put in a candle that looks something like, a nice big up candle here, up into there, and it looks something like that, and maybe something like that. What would that 3 candle bar pattern represent? Obviously, it's an awfully big stretch, but nonetheless. Does anybody know? That candle, and that candle. An empire. Very good. Way to go, guys. Inverted empire, whatever you want to call it, right? It's a big stretch. Obviously, we can't make any conclusions right now. I would really like to see a nice quiet doji day here, just simply marking that the sellers are exhausted. Well, we'll see how we go. If we lose these levels, then you're all warned, where we're going next. This is a pretty important level, right? Which kind of sucks, but, this Bitcoin, you got to roll with the punches here. And, of course, as we had said before, nobody really should be surprised here whatsoever. And I do know there's quite a few people that on this event, they were just like, all right, I'm going to hop off onto the sidelines and just wait this out. But does anybody see that, right? We have to be careful anytime the market's smiling at us. So really seeing the market come down here, it shouldn't be shocking to anybody. As I had said before, what I'd really like to see here, January barometer, those psycho guys, I'd really like to see a nice little counter trend rally back to this 50% level, maybe put in a fight off of this confluence of trend lines, and then we get the next leg down. That's sort of what I'm thinking should happen here. But that's just Brian's opinion. Like I said, how much Brian thinks of Brian's opinion. Trade your setups, trying to find how you're going to act, why you're going to act, when you're going to act, and just simply trade your setups. I've found so many times that when you start injecting opinion into this, you usually end up making the wrong decisions. I did see earlier today, it's probably worth noting, for those people that are interested in this Tether story, Mr. Simon Dixon, and I'm actually a little surprised that people are not making this connection. But I guess it must have been in a reply. But Mr. Dixon has said that he's going to go on this World Crypto Network and talk to their community this afternoon here. Basically, he put this out. I will be on World Crypto Net with Andy Hoffman at 3 p.m. GMT today. Is that like now? I don't know. if you can, if you're not, is it going right now? If you can, I think it's worth your while just to pay attention to this. Oh, it was 2 hours ago. That's too bad. Did anybody ask him about Tether? Oh, Tom, you just put the interview in there? Jeez, damn fine haircut. Did he just get out of like a prison camp or something? Or is that even him? I don't know whether that's him on the screen there. Anyway, I'm surprised more people have not made this connection, because I don't know whether you guys were all aware, but basically Phoenix was hacked. They were going to go under. They were going to be the next Gox. It was a done deal. And then Simon and his little company, Bank to the Future, just basically came in and saved their asses, gave them a whole bunch of money to honor their debts. And I would argue that this guy's running Phoenix. And I don't understand why people don't see the connection. It's baffling to me. So I, even myself, after when I get some time, I am going to sit and watch what he has to say and see whether anybody actually asked him about Tether. Because really, Tether is his product, right? It was that, I suppose you could even argue Tether was almost like the morphification. It was this sort of, they created this Tether thing after the Phoenix tokens were basically unwound. Does anybody still have any of those Phoenix tokens? Those were funny, eh? It would be cool just to keep one of those tokens as a memento. Does anybody even know what the fuck I'm talking about? That's a funny, right? Most people here, I would be willing to bet. Mike, do you have any clue what I'm talking about right now? Maybe I'm putting you on the spot. YH. I'm not quite sure what YH stands for. Oh, yeah, you do know what I'm talking about? Okay, good. So anyway, the point of the matter here is that I really think that, he's now probably a billionaire. He's done very, very well. I think, if anything, we have to follow him for what's going to happen with this whole Phoenix story and the Tether. This guy's in cahoots with one of the biggest commodity managers in like the past 50 years, a guy named Jimmy Rogers. I don't think they're going to let Tether go under. Why would they? That's totally not in their best interest. So as I said, take some time, watch that interview he did, see if he makes any reference to Tether. My hunch is he's probably going to avoid the question as much as possible. I just simply said, dude, seriously, I mean, what's your plan with this Tether? Just as simple as that. And his response, of course, is, oh, well, tune in. Maybe we'll talk about it, right? I mean, this guy is a deal doer, right? This guy's a deal maker. He's not gonna spill the beans willingly. But the bottom line here is, you want to know what's going on with Tether. This is the guy who's fucking driving the bus in Tether, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so your special assignment, especially people who are not in classes and stuff, go and watch that video and see what questions were asked about Tether. Kind of sucks I missed that. Oh, well, what can you do? I totally wanted to press him on that. All right. Anything else? Actually, it's getting near the top of the hour, and I do have class here I have to do in an hour, so I'll probably be relatively limited. I suppose, I always like to toot my own horn, so it was nice to see that, this is probably a really good example of the fact that if you just run a nice, balanced, diversified portfolio, usually you can find a bull market somewhere. It's also a really good testament to making sure that your open orders are working and that you got your levels all correct here. And I was given a really nice treat last night. We got off another double, and it's just simply our business plan: sell halves on doubles, blah, blah, blah. And, this rally just appeared out of nowhere last night. So if anything, just a good sort of heads up, go through your order book. In fact, we were talking about that in the lounge last night, where we just say, now is a great opportunity to do some housekeeping. I know guys like INI, they actually broke the Bittrex open order system by, they had too many open orders, right? They got up to 1,000 open orders, can't put any more open orders. Okay. And if anything, that's an excellent commentary. Keith says, well, I think List got listed on another exchange. So, just as Dav's little screener, people were asking fundamental screeners, we should all understand you want to make money from trading. If we have sort of a heads up and, guys like, Kevin, Joshua, you guys should be all over this shit. I mean, if you want to create a list of potential upcoming listing on exchanges kind of idea, that's a fantastic fundamental motivator for price. And if we want to trade off of it to make money from trading off of it, rock on. Nothing wrong with that at all. Usually for a guy like me, because I want to own everything, usually what ends up happening is I've got, these pump groups and stuff like that. I already own the asset and they just pump the prices right up into my sell levels. So just now is a great opportunity because like a month ago, new people to the site, a month or two ago, well, probably about a month ago, you guys probably thought this is the way the market is all the time. We're just fucking banging off doubles right, left, and center, and it's just fucking insanity. Shit's popping all over the place, bots running around, and everybody's just going crazy. That's not actually normal. That's like, we say that the market trends, 20 to 30% of the time. So that's that, let's say, 20% window. The other 80% of the time is spent just, cleaning up your book, going through your open orders, going through your ideas that you are interested in, reviewing whether the fundamentals have changed on those stories, identify Kavarkanator levels, go through, build lists of fundamental drivers going forward. Would love to see stuff like that in the lounge posted. 1 + 1 = 3. Let's all help each other make money. That's the kind of market that we're in right now. And the cool part about it, there will always be another bull market. Always. It's just the way humanity works. So let's take the time and effort and, build our plans, put ourselves in positions of strength, get all our ideas all ready to go, get our levels identified. What are our good fundamental stories that we should be concentrating on? And then when the market does bottom and base, we've got our positions on and we're ready to rock and roll for the next bull. Does that make sense, guys? What do you think? Can we all work on that together? That's really how you make money at this game. All right. So it is top of the hour. We do have European class here in the next hour. So that's a big session. They are strategically trying to figure out what the heck to do with their lives. So I think I'm probably going to leave it at that for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. We talked a little Bitcoin at a very key juncture level here. We talked a little bit about, things like where do we work orders, for placing stuff back to buy back. We looked at CAN. We looked at the idea of the fact that there is always a bull market somewhere. So just make sure to have your, your profit taking levels working and you're on top of your book. And we also talked a little bit about, just setting yourself up for success moving forward here. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'll see all you Europeans in about an hour. I guess maybe about a half an hour or so. And everybody have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.